Hello and welcome again to my channel. It's been a while here. My name is Juliet. I'm a Pearson Test of English tutor. And today's video, I want to talk about how you can ace your PTE listening. Now remember, we have 4 sessions or called modules, 4 modules in the Pearson Test of English. We have the PTE speaking, we have the writing, we have the reading, and we have the listening. Now the listening is the last session or the last module in the PTE exam. Some people say that's their most difficult task or most difficult session or most difficult module. But for me, because I'm the tutor, I think it's one of the best modules out there in the PTE exam. So for you to pass your PTE listening, it's really very easy. I'm just going to be talking about the tasks that you can focus on, and that way you should be able to get 65 if that's your aim, or you should be able to get like 79 if that's what you're aiming for. So you just sit down and relax and let's get into it. Now for the PTE listening, there's not much deal about it, because if you understand the module very well, you know what is expected of you. You should know that it's not hard. Now for the PTE listening, you don't have to say anything. You don't have to talk like in the speaking module. All you need to do is listen. Now, one thing you need to know first of all is you're going to be assessed for your listening skills. That is the most important thing. Your listening skills is what you're being assessed for. So if you need to wax your ears before you go there, well, I'm just joking. But if you need to do a lot of listening exercises, especially if you think your hearing is not too good, if you need to do some listening exercises before you go into the exam hall, that would be very great. Okay. Now the PTE listening has the highest number of tasks. Remember, the PTE listening, writing, reading, they are called modules or sessions. Now there are sub questions underneath them. They are called tasks. Now, of all the modules in the Pearson Test of English, the PTE listening rather, would have the highest number of tasks. Yeah, because the speaking has got just 5, the reading has 5, the writing has 2, but the PTE speaking has 8 tasks. Now, of those 8 tasks, 4 of them are the most important. Now, before I delve into the 4 of them, I have to also talk about other things. Now, for the PTE listening, if you listen very well, you can actually fish out the answer, because the answers are kind of in the audio that they play. Now, for every task in the PTE listening, you have to listen to an audio. If you listen to one audio, you're able to deduce your answer from the audio, and you're able to write down the answer, or if you're able to, whatever the task is, you're able to fit in the answer into the task. Okay, now for you to do the PTE listening, like I said, you have to begin to pass the PTE listening from the PTE speaking. Now the second task in the PTE speaking, which is called the repeat sentence, is where you should begin to pass your PTE listening from. Now that task is one of the tasks that has the highest scores or marks in the Pearson Test of English. Now, having done some of these mock tests, I've noticed that task alone can contribute like 40 to 45 marks to your PTE listening. If you want to pass your PTE listening, you have to start to pass it from the PTE speaking, especially doing that task called the repeat sentence. Now, that task as well, you'd have to listen to the recording or the audio, and you hear it once. Even all the tasks in the PTE listening, you hear the recording once. You can't replay it. You can't say, oh, I didn't hear, can I play it again? That's why most times in my class, I'm like, oh, if you didn't hear it, then I'm going to go to next. You know, I try to make it look like the exam atmosphere for you when I do my class. Okay, so for the PTE speaking, that task repeat sentence, you would have to listen to an audio and you have to repeat what the audio says, okay? Because that task is in the speaking module. Now, if you hear what the audio says, let's say for instance, it says something like the cafeteria is behind the museum. So you have to say exactly as you heard it, okay? That task is a very important task, because that is where you begin to pass your listening from. Especially if you've been struggling with the PTE listening, you have to pass from there, okay? Now, the next task that you need to pay close attention to is your summarized spoken test. Now, these are the core listening tasks. But remember, I just talked about the repeat sentence. Repeat sentence can be found in the PTE speaking. But for you to pass the PTE listening as well, you would have to face some other major tasks like the summarized spoken test. Now, I'm going to say this thing as well. Now, for the PTE listening, there are 8 tasks. Now, 4 of them will give you more points than the other 4. Now, the 4 that will give you more points are the ones I'll be talking about in today's video. Remember, you will start passing your PTE listening from the PTE speaking by taking your time to do very well in that task called repeat sentence. Okay. All right. So for you to pass the PTE listening, especially focusing on the listening module, the first task that will help you is a summarized spoken test. This summarized spoken test, you have 1 or 2 of them on test day, and remember, you will listen to an audio. All they need you to do is jot down important phrases or important keywords, and when the audio finishes, you are supposed to type your response into the box provided. Okay, they give you 10 minutes to both listen to this audio and try to summarize the audio in words, in phrases, using conjunctions, using adjectives, using words, making sure you have a mixture of complex compound sentences. That way you should be able to get out all the points there. Now, the next task that would help you pass your PTE listening is fill in the blanks. Okay, wait a minute. We have fill in the blanks in the reading, but they actually call reading fill in the blanks or reading and writing fill in the blanks. Now, this one, fill in the blanks in the listening, is totally different from fill in the blank in the reading. Okay, now for this one, you have to listen to an audio, and you'll see something like a paragraph on your screen, and they begin to once you listen to the audio, they expect you to put the answers in the blank, because there will be blanks in between the phrases. So you're supposed to listen to the audio and get the answer from the audio and fill it into the blank. That way you should be able to ace this task. You have 2 or 3 of this kind of question on your test day. And one thing about the first one, the summarized spoken test, and this fill in the blanks, is that they will not just help you pass the listening, they would also contribute good scores to the PTE writing. Copy that. All right. Now we're going to go to the next task called the highlight incorrect word. This highlight incorrect word would points you're getting for this task is not actually going to the PTE listening. Some would go to help you pass your reading. But this task is not difficult. All they need you to do is listen to the audio, try to highlight the words that are different from what the audio is saying. They give you a transcript, or they give you something in a box, and you're supposed to read it along with the audio with your cursor, and you identify the words on the transcript that is different from what the audio is saying. Now you have 2 or 3 of these tasks, and there's a bit of a negative kind of marking. That means you should try to get all the sentences that were, or all the words that were not actually said in the audio. That is, if you understand what I mean. I'm not here to talk about the highlight correct words. I'm going to do a separate video on that one. Now, the most important task here in the PTE listening that can help you pass your PTE listening is write from dictation. Write from dictation, it's a very, very, very important task, okay? Because not only will it help you pass the PTE listening greatly, it would also help you pass the PTE writing. If you ask me, I would say that the PTE writing depends on write from dictation. Now, don't get me wrong, summarized spoken test, fill in the blanks, they would all contribute some kinds of points or scores to the PTE writing as well as the PTE listening. But this task, write from dictation, is key. If for you to pass your writing, you must take this task seriously. For you to also pass your listening, this task must not be joked with. Now you have 3 to 4 of this kind of task on your test day, and all you're expected to do here is to just listen to the audio or the recording, say a sentence. Remember, it's a sentence. So all they need you to do is to type what you have heard in the box that will be provided. Now you get the correct mark for every correct word that you put in that blank. For instance, they could say something like, the school tutorial holds every Monday and Tuesday for freshmen in the university. So if you get those exact words, and that is if you type them just the way they ought to be, start with a capital letter, put a full stop at the end, you should be able to get the marks that you need. This task is not difficult. It's just that you need to listen. Like I said, for the listening module, the key or the success of this, for you to pass this task, is for you to pay attention. Okay, you're being assessed for your listening skills. So if you can listen, you should be able to hear or get out your answers. Now, don't get me wrong, the accents they use in this task is not they're not difficult accents. They are accents that are relatable, accents that you can hear very well. All right, so it's not a major thing. All you need to do is pay attention. Now, if you get distracted just one bit, you're going to lose your point. I tell some of my students, you don't have to think about all your challenges or your problems. All you need to do is stay focused. once you stay focused, once you're listening with your ears and your mind, you should be able to decode the answers to most of the questions in the PTE listening. Now, do not get me wrong that the other 4 are not so important, but these ones will give you way more scores than the other 4. By way of mentioning the other 4, I will just mention them in this video, but I'm not going to get into details about them because they give you 1 or 2 points, which is not bad, especially if you're aiming for a high score. Now, one of those tasks would be the multiple choice question. The multiple choice, choose single answer, and the multiple choice, choose multiple answers. You still need to listen to one audio and get your answers from the audio. Then the other one will be select missing word and highlight correct summary. Okay, these are the other 4 tasks that are in the listening module. For me, I call them time wasters. However, if you're aiming for a very high score, you can just try to do them. But if they're going to pose like being difficult, just choose an option and go to the next task. Do not waste your time on those tasks. Just pick an answer and try to go to the tasks that are important. One major thing I also need to say about the PTE listening is time management. If you waste time on other tasks, like all those multiple choice questions and select missing word, then you just know that you might not have enough time to finish up this module. And there's need for you to finish up the task in the listening module, especially this right from dictation, which is the last task, because like I said, this task would help you not just to pass your listening, it will also help you pass your writing. So time management is important. Summarize spoken text, which is usually the first task in the PTE listening. They give you 10 minutes. If they give you 2, they give you 20 minutes. You do not have control over that time. That means that even if you finish in 5 minutes, you cannot go to the next task. All you need to do is manage your time. Try to finish up before 10 minutes. Look through what you've done, what you've written. Check your I's, check your T's, check your punctuations. Are they all good? Check your spelling, because spelling is one of the criteria for you to pass this task. And if they're all good, then once it's 10 minutes, computer automatically takes you to the next question. Okay, so do not waste time on all those multiple choice questions. Focus on these other ones and then do very well in repeat sentence. That way you get all the scores for your PTE listening. Easy, too easy, right? Yeah. All right, so the PTE listening is not a difficult module. For me, it's one of the modules, or one of my best modules in the PTE exam, because you just know that all you need to do is pay attention. Once you pay attention, you should be able to get the answers to the questions that you're being asked. Now, if you're new to my channel, please remember to hit the subscribe button. Remember to give this video a thumbs up. I was looking at my analytics yesterday and I found that a lot of people watching my video, they are not subscribed. Please do me well to subscribe to my channel, especially if you're doing the PTE, because it's going to help you. And tell a friend, share my video, tell people to watch it. It's going to help them if they're preparing for Pearson test of English. And I will see you in my next video. Remember to always leave your questions and I'm going to respond to you. Bye.